And our ancestors looked on the environment not just as a source of sustenance, from which they got their food and building materials and so on, but they also saw the environment, nature, the natural environment, as a source of wisdom. Nature taught them a lot, because to this day, in spite of all the achievements human beings have made, nature is still our greatest teacher. And so from these birds and trees and stones and rivers and so on, we got a lot of wisdom. And sometimes the wisdom is put into the mouth of birds. For instance, we have the hawk. And one proverb says the hawk, all that God created is good, as it flies aloft. You see, because it's the hawk that flies so high and looks below and beholds the beauty of nature and says, all that God created is good, says the hawk. And of course, even looking at lions and hunters, you see, our ancestors said, until the lions have their own historians, tales of hunting will always glorify the hunter. The hunters always take the credit, but if the lions would speak and if people would hear what the lions have to say, they will know that all the credit shouldn't go to the hunter. And from this we learn a big lesson. Until we African descendants can speak for ourselves, have our own historians, of course others will write our history at our expense to glorify themselves. And it's a very insightful piece of wisdom that comes from merely observing nature. Of course, this is the farm, and one of the experiences we get when we go to the farm is to have a thorn pricking your foot. And so our ancestors said, when a thorn gets into the toe, the whole body bends to pull it out, which is precisely what we do. And what's the lesson from that? Well, when something happens to somebody, something happens to one of us, all of us go to the help or to the assistance of that person who is suffering. You would ask, what has the foot got to do with the arm or the trunk? But the proverb says, when a thorn gets into the toe, the whole body bends to pull it out. And so, just looking around us, birds, nature, we learn a lot of lessons